Imagine having the responsibility of a business owner working 12 hours a day without the benefits or the benefits at the end when you get your result of being a business owner. So I got this question recently. I answered it. I'll share my screen. I'll show you. So this is a question that I got from a recruitment business manager employed in my school group, and I'm doing it like this because I don't want to give away his identity. You'll understand why as I'm reading it. So first he said, hope you're well. I have a dilemma. I'm a recruitment business manager, a very small organization for a week. Perfect testing ground to launch my own business. So he's using his current employment as a testing ground so that he can start his own recruitment company. It's interesting. I'm going to comment on that in a little bit later. So speak to candidates, clients. Yeah, know how this goes well. Fantastic. Okay. As a recruiter, as you know, the job rely on a lot of different online tools. I arrived in a very small company with very underwhelming and inefficient processes. I knew it before coming. It's exciting to me, and everything's in his reinvent the total process business thanks to my experience. Okay, so he can change and shape up the entire business because he's got everything at his disposal. He's got full autonomy over this role, which is nice. You don't see that very often in recruitment. So my issue is between finding clients, finding good candidates, create LinkedIn content, networking, create automation, new processes, optimize my work, get more done in less, I find myself confused about what should be my aim. Like, what you're aiming for? Should I go for blood and get my first deals in with the bad tools, or should I first sort out the process improvement automation? I'm working 12 to 13 hours per day and the weekend. Wow. But for sales and automation process, I'm still a beginner. So typically I need more time to achieve the result I want. Looking forward to get some good insights. So interestingly, this is exactly what I help out with. So good question. So I don't mind answering this openly. So first off, it's a perfect testing ground to launch my own business. It is. Just keep in mind, for the amount of work that you're about to do and the amount of work that you're going to be embarking on, I believe that you're going to be in a really good position to negotiate some sort of agreement with the business owners to say, hey, look, I want a share in the business or a stake in the business because of what you're about to do. The job function that you've taken on has multiple avenues. Like, you're looking at how to grow the business, how to streamline the business, and you're having to do placements at the same time. Like, these are separate jobs, basically. So if you are to, with regards to your question in terms of what should you prioritize and what your aim should be, this depends on what your responsibilities are with the company. So there's two things here. A few things actually. One is you want to use it as a testing ground. The other is what should you do for the organization, which may be beyond your pay grade and outside of your day-to-day responsibilities. And then the third is what are your actual responsibilities and what are your targets and what you targeted on, and make sure you hit those KPIs. So my view is this, and this is what I would do in the same situation. If my responsibilities were to grow the business, then the recruitment is irrelevant, meaning that recruitment comes as part of growing the business, but setting up the infrastructure would take more priority. And this depends on cash flow and profits and how much time you have to get this done as well. If cash flow is tight, if profitability is not quite there, then I'd be prioritizing recruitment. I'd be getting my hands dirty in day-to-day recruiting, and I'd make sure that there was sufficient cash flow to justify growing the business. So in this particular situation, I would be talking to the owners and just saying, look, these are all the hours that I'm doing. This is way beyond what I had expected. I know I had to build some stuff in place, but there's too much in terms of responsibility. And I'd be trying to renegotiate my contract with the company. What is it that my priorities are? What is it that I'm working on? And what should I be focused on, and so on. So that's first one. The second one is, depending on the priorities, is either going to be building infrastructure in the business or it's going to be focusing on recruitment. If the cash flow is tight, if profitability is tight, you're in an employed position, and that means that you're going to have some targets set for yourself. You want to make sure that you are hitting those targets first off. Everything that you do outside of work, which is your immediate responsibilities, which will include building the infrastructure and the systems as you're describing, these things, do them afterwards. Like, even if that means working extra hours and doing them outside your working hours, do so, but set clear expectations with the business owners to say, hey, look, if I put this in place, I'm doing this outside my responsibility. I want to see a return on this and I want to see how this goes. So agree that upfront. And it may well be in the form of a bonus. It may well be in the form of shares or something, or a stake in the business of some kind. And you can negotiate that upfront. But with regards to the responsibilities that you're doing, like you're recruiting, you're growing a business, and you're building systems, these are separate job opportunities. And that's why you're working all these hours. What's interesting is that a lot of business owners end up going through this process anyway. And you've taken on the opportunity of, or you've taken on the responsibilities of a business owner in your senior position. However, you're not going to get the long-term rewards of being a business owner. So I would look to my take on this is I would look to renegotiate my contract and understand what exactly we're working on and doing so. Having said that, if you are confident in all of your ability and this is always your goal, which is set up your own business, why not just go and set it up yourself? That's it. Like, save the time, save the hassle, stop going back and forth on it and just go and start your own. Because if that's what you're aiming for, then you should just go and do that anyway. Like, use your own business as your testing ground because that's where your confidence is going to be built. If you're using somebody else's business as a testing ground to do things that you have no idea about or you have no understanding about, then that's not a testing ground. Now it's just you're just wasting resources, whether that's your time or the business's time. So my take on it is if you understand what you're doing, then do it and look for a greater opportunity with the current business and scrap the idea of setting up your own. Or if you are interested in setting up your own business completely, just go and do it now. Like you're wasting your own time because the time that it's going to take you to practice, you can either practice on theirs or you can practice on your own. There may well be other constraints from a financial perspective, like maybe you don't have the investment capital right now, and that might be a reason why. Yes, so be it. Like, things change over time. However, what you're taking on here are actually multiple responsibilities. It's more than one person's job, and it's really important for you to make sure that you are being focused on the right thing with the right goal, with the right objective at the right time. And given everything that you're doing, yeah, this is a lot of work, and that explains why you're working all the hours that you are. So I would look to renegotiate my contract with my employment, or maybe seek another employer, or go and set up my own project because the testing ground for all of these things takes exactly the same amount of time. So that's what I would do. Obviously, in my particular case, I understand how most of this stuff comes together, and I would, yeah, I can put this all together. So there's that. And if anybody else has any questions, jump in the group and ask away. I'll do my best to answer them.